Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Internet Issues! Hello, I'm Guy, the White Blues fan, and this is kind of sort of the BlueNote Fan Report. Sorry, we have had storms here all day, on and off, and my internet is going in and out, so I will be on as long as I possibly can. Ashley may come along later. Shagalicious might show his head now that he has Patrick Kane and Vladimir Tereshchenko. Honestly, I don't see how those two work together, right? I don't. I think that they don't complement each other in any way, shape, or form, right? They're two totally different personalities, everything else. Brad Pond, who told me he was not going to watch Blues hockey anymore, is here. Hello, how are you? Oh, Shaggy's here. Yeah, well, you know what? The first bullet that got dropped, or the first shoe that got dropped, was Bo Horvat. And that kind of shook the hornet's nest a little bit, but it didn't stir it. And then the next one was Tereshchenko, and that stirred the hornet's nest, and they all came out. They're not playing on the same line. Hey, they could end up playing on the same line. A lot of pressure. I think the Rangers have made too many changes, Shaggy. I really, really do. I don't want to talk about the Rangers today. To be honest, I want to talk about the Blues and how shitty they're going to be. But, you know, we can bring you on a little bit to talk about what the Rangers have done. I just, look, guys, you know, this is, I've seen some things in the groups and some things that people who watch this show have posted, right? People that I know watch this show. And I keep hearing the same thing over and over again, right? A lot of this blame on what is happening, a lot of it. Oh, we did. We talked a lot about it. And for the most part, it didn't, right? I know the Avs and Tampa each added players, but I don't think they added like a huge player. Maybe I'm wrong. One of the things that's coming out is that this is on the contracts that Kyrou and Thomas signed, right? That Armstrong blew this by signing those contracts. And okay, I get that to a point. However, it got me thinking. You know, they said that Kyrou and Thomas signed the largest contracts in Blues history. And that's actually not true. That's actually not true. Because you really have to take those contracts and adjust them for inflation. And if you take those contracts and adjust for inflation, you'll find out that Tereshchenko and Pietrangelo signed the largest contracts in Blues history, adjusted for inflation. Now, with when those two guys signed those contracts in 14 and 15 respectively, or actually 13 and 15 respectively, right? Not one bitch. No complaining, no nothing. And at that point, the Blues were first round and done for like 3 or 4 straight years. Right? So I could see. I don't see the Leafs imploding in the first round. I could see the Rangers imploding in the first round. But the Leafs have made a lot of changes too. I am Kevin. Okay. Look, Matt Lowe, I know that you don't blame Berube as much as you do the players and Armstrong. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. It really is. However, yeah, the Leafs are liking 90, but the Rangers aren't liking 91. That's for sure. I don't see it that way, bud. I really don't. And the more I look at it, first of all, you look at everybody we've traded, and you would think we've traded all the locker room troublemakers accordingly, supposedly. Right? And Neighbors is an RFA, so we've got him for at least 4 more years. I think he's got 2 years on his contract, but he's still young. He's an RFA till he's 25, so I think he's 20 now or 21. So we've got him for a while, right? I don't think it would matter who's behind the bench the way the team was. I disagree with that, right? I think that we haven't saved any cap space, to be honest. We're still up against it. Hey, Shigalicious.
How we doing?
I can't believe you guys got Kane. And I'll tell you what, this is a loophole that I think the NHL is going to close in the next CBA.
Okay.
The teams that are taking salary from guys that never play a game for them.
Interesting.
I think that's a loophole that the league's going to close. Right.
Well, I believe that there should be a limit to how much cap a team can take. Meaning, let's say they would make like above a certain amount you could trade. Above a certain amount you could actually have a third team grab something, but above a certain amount they can't take. Because imagine I have a player. Right. I think Ryan Green 25% or less. I think is a great idea. You keep it.
No, I think it should be.
What? 25?
No.
You have to realize that a contract. Yeah.
I don't mind the 50% if it's a guy that played for your team.
No. I understand that. I'm discussing. Let's say I'm a third team. I said.
Okay. Well, that third team, in all actuality, that's what it is 25%.
Correct.
They're calling it 50, but it's 50% of 50%. So that's 25%. My issue is you should not be paying a guy that has never put your uniform on.
Well, I think even if they did put your uniform on, you can't take the cap for a player unless it's below a certain amount and his contract is below a certain amount. Meaning, if his contract and if you're basically like percentages away from making the cap, from making your cap, and you're just trying to work things out. I think having a third team just take that little bit is fine, but to have a third team taking a chunk is a problem. No, I do not call Vladdy lazy.
Oh, you don't, but is the fan base?
No. The fans are actually very excited to watch him play. You have to notice something, and that is the Rangers, like I think Guy mentioned before, the Rangers are the Rangers made a lot of moves. And as well, they have been a little bit in their own head. It's not been the reason why they've been in their head is because around the trade deadline, okay, you don't have exactly the same concentration when you have a team that is on such a high horse. Okay. There are fans calling him lazy because of the fact that there were a couple plays in which I think they noticed him like that. I
But
think
he
they
does
will
that
clean
all.
up.
He's always done that.
But
And
he's
it's
like
not
that.
lazy play.
Right.
He's not a defensive player.
Correct. But here's the difference between the Blues and the Rangers right now. The Rangers have the players to cover for that. Okay. They could, if they have one lazy player, you know, you could really cover for that. And if he's not working in the top, you know, two lines, they could always tell Tarasenko, look, dude, we could push you down because we have the players to just play our lines around. You know what I mean? They have a top 9 in which they could really create an amazing, amazing, amazing team. So I'm just saying, like, if you believe, I believe like this. I believe Tarasenko's getting used to this team. There's plays being made by the Rangers that they already know each other, and he was added into a team that was he's a good player. Okay, he's learning. He's thinking about it. I think that the lines are going to be like this. I believe that they're going to start Panarin with Kane. I think Tarasenko will get moved to another line, and Kane will be with Panarin and Zibanejad. Exactly. I believe that Zibanejad will not be on that line with Kane and Panarin. I believe it will be Kane, Panarin, and Trocheck. The reason why is because let's talk about positions on the ice. When you have 3 players, it's not just about center, left wing, and right wing. It's about what type of center, what type of left wing, what type of right wing. Panarin's a passer. Kane's a playmaker. Trocheck is a big man who's going to stand in the middle. Okay, that's what you want. You want a guy, and you don't have a shooter on that line. That's the only problem. Kane is their technical shooter on that line, and Panarin shoots sometimes. I think when they're out, they're going to love to play him with Fox and whoever he's playing with. That way, they'll give them a really good. Their defensemen will play much more on offense, while you'll have Kreider with Zibanejad and Tarasenko, and the advantage of that is having Kreider at that center. Kreider's been great at deflections. Tarasenko is fantastic as well, physically down low, and Zibanejad has a wicked shot. So I think Tarasenko's going to – they're not even asking Tarasenko to score. I think they want Tarasenko to be a playmaker. Don't be a negative on the ice, and he hasn't. Maybe laziness is whatever. I think the Blues actually avoided today a big I don't know, mistake, but – the Oilers wanted to make a trade for Parayko, and they wanted them to take some of Parayko's cap, and the Blues said no. And I'm very impressed with that, because I was almost thinking they're going to make a stupid move when I heard a connection between Parayko and the Oilers. They're going to send him there. They'll bring back another okay guy, maybe a second or third round pick for him or something, and then say, well, you know, we got rid of cap and this and that. At the end, you'd rather keep Parayko and not make another move like that. I think that's good that they held themselves down.
I don't want to. If I'm giving up Parayko, I'm not taking any salary.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting, guy. I'll tell you something interesting. I believe that the reason why they didn't trade them to the Oilers is because they want to trade him to actually a team that may not be as good as the Oilers. They believe the Oilers will make it deeper in the playoffs. So if they get back a pick from them, it's not as good of a pick.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's true.
They have enough of those type of picks in which you have.
We got 2 of them. We got 2 of them that are in the bottom 10.
Right. So you don't want to sit there and take another one. So holding Parayko out as long as possible till the trade deadline, which, again, I put on the chat. People think like today was the trade deadline because of the amount of trades that were made. Yeah. I even had a stat here. This is a very cool stat I had over here. Let me just put it up. Let me just tell you.
Well, I got to get back. While you're doing that, I want to get back to what I talked about. It was brought up. Someone said, but if a third team agrees to terms for a draft pick, why not? Because that's circumventing the cap. The purpose of the cap is to make everything fair for everybody, right? That's the purpose of the cap. And when a team that doesn't spend to the cap says, oh, give me a pick and I'll take some salary, you're actually the team that this is. The Rangers are over the cap, in my opinion, right? And the reason I think that they're over the cap is because they have 2 other teams paying salary for 2 players that have never played for them. That's not fair. No, it's not. Brian.
I think I agree on Guy on this. It's not. Look, I know that, and I think Ashley, you'll agree on this too. When you have a third team just coming in and grabbing salary cap, now what good do you get out of that? It's money for a pick. You're buying yourself a pick. Okay. The only reason why a team would do that is a team that really is looking to build, a Canucks team, a Coyotes team, a team that's looking to build, and therefore they're willing to give up some of that money space in order to get themselves another pick for a guy who's going to sit there in their minors and not take up space. But here's the problem.
Or what you see is and this is what's being missed, teams that are trading pieces away and below the salary floor that have to take that salary to get above the floor.
Right. So
And
now,
that's an, see, to me, that's an issue. That's an issue.
Right. So now,
that's a huge issue.
Where,
look at the other issue I have is Buffalo. Buffalo has 2 guys on their active roster that are injured and cannot play, just so they can have enough money to reach the floor. Buffalo traded for 2 guys in the offseason that were on the IR, will never play in the NHL again, just to get their contract so they could have money to go above the floor. That, to me, is pure horseshit. Because especially when there's guys in the minors, guys trying to get in the NHL and they can't get in because you got 2 guys that are circumventing the cap for a team. That's
right,
wrong to me.
But here's what people don't understand is I'm a big baseball fan, okay? And if you notice what's going on in baseball, guys are just signing for ridiculous money. There's trades going on that are ridiculous. It seems like in hockey now, I would compare that to just everyone just throwing picks at each other. Okay, everyone now seems to be just going, oh, here's our 2 firsts. Look at the Maple Leafs, what they've done this draft. I actually think the Maple Leafs might be messing themselves over by just going out there and let me think about this for a second. How many trades have they made today? Okay, they've absolutely redone.
Hey, hold on, Shaq. I got to do the lines. I got to do the lines.
You got that.
Thomas is centering Kaparin and Bushnevich. Jen is centering Kyrou and Saad. Brown is centering Blaze and the Torpedo. Alexandrov, who got called back up, is centering Pitlick and Walker. Interesting lines. I don't think Kaparin's going to come in and do anything for us. I mean, we got him for 2 years, but even Armstrong said we only got him for 2 years. If he comes in and sneaks it up, so what? He's gone after that. I mean, he said that. To Armstrong, this is a win-win situation. You pick the guy up, you put him out there. If he does great. You've got him for another year cheap. If not, you get rid of him.
But he didn't say it quite as negatively as you did.
But that's what he came out and said.
Okay.
That's what he essentially said. He said it much more professionally.
So you look at in general what the Blues are trying to accomplish here. I think that you're still going to see something out of him because what Kapanen does have and what he hasn't gotten the chance to do is he was on a Penguins team in which he was at the bottom, and he wasn't exactly a player that they really, I think he even felt like a little bit like misused. Okay. And he's coming to a team that could use whatever they've got. And if they like him, they could sign him for longer. I believe that he's a player that they could only go up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My hands bother me today. They're showing fathers and sons that have been on the Blues or in the league or something like that. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Matlow's giving me crap again.
Why not?
Yeah, he likes doing that.
Oh, actually, no. You didn't say that. He's just saying that so that you know that it's crapping, but the R is silent because he's crap.
Yeah.
To that, can I respond to that Devils thing?
That's what I was hoping you would do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I know I'm a Rangers fan. Every person here is going to sit there and tell me that I'm just, feeling stupid that they got better. I think Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt and Timo Myers and Nico Hischier, Tatar, Sharangovich, very nice. But I believe that as much as Dawson Mercer's had a great year, and Palat is okay, and Hall has been okay, I believe that they do not have the defense. They do not have the defense to be able to hold down teams. I think their offense is pretty good. I believe that their defense is not as great. I believe that the way a lot of teams like to play with forechecks and stuff, the Devils like to just go up and down the ice. I don't believe they're a forechecking team that much. I don't believe they're a defensive focused team. Even their defensive players are involved a lot in more of scoring than in defense. And I also believe that goalie wise, as good as Vanacek has been, They've now lost their backup goalie Blackwood to the IR, and they have to bring in Schmid, who's a rookie, and they're going to have to win games and with a okay goalie. I mean, look at starting goalies available. There's not a lot of starting goalies available for cheap. Guy thinks we're only going to win 5 games. I think we're going to show a hard push. That means nothing for that. I believe if I'm betting Guy on 5 games, I will take the over only because I just always believe that there are games at which you never know what you're going to come up with. A team could have a good player out, a good goalie goes down. The Blues come out one day just on fire. Mistakes are made by the other team randomly. I will say above 5, below 10. Possibly 8 or 9.
10 is ambitious as hell.
No. I said
no.
above 5, below 10. Meaning, I'm not saying they're good. Above 10 would be like, whoa. There's only 20 games left or something.
Once they made the O'Reilly trade, the signal to everyone was we've given up on the season, and it's shown on the bench, on the ice. That's exactly what they've done. They have given up on everything. Jose says just turn it in, so don't know if it was talked about. Do you think Elkold was traded to Edmonton and that they might get flipped to us for Parayko? Right now they're wanting us to hold to keep a large portion of Parayko's salary for many years, and the Blues are saying no to that. So I don't see that happening, Jose.
I'm with you, Jason.
Should there be a withholding of the amount of trades allowed before the trade deadline?
No, I don't think so.
No?
But I think that the cap issues, the circumventing of the cap needs to be fixed, right? That's something that needs to be fixed. This third party paying a player that's never suited up for, will never suit up for him, never even step foot in their arena in their jersey. That's an issue to me.
I would go as far as saying that I don't think that those players should hit cap anymore, because with how tight they have the cap, I don't think if somebody has retired or is no longer playing, they should count. Yes, they should be paid, but it shouldn't count.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. Now, that was fixed. In the current CBA, a retired player comes off the cap.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Basically, what happens is a retired player goes into LTIR, and it all comes off.
So I found an article from 2021, written by Zach Leach, and he wrote an interesting article, and he was discussing about third parties. And I'm just going to quickly read it to you as quick as possible.
I want to address this. Yes,
no,
Ryan.
one line.
No, hold on, Shag.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan, it would still be an issue. I think it's an issue all the way around. I have an issue with the fact that it was O'Reilly that did it. I have an issue that Kane did it, right? Kane did it to a team that needed to get above the floor. Why did this team need to get above the floor? They're taking $2.5 million away from real players that could be on the ice to pay Kane to get above the floor. I have an issue with that. That's where my issue is, right? And it's not just because it didn't benefit the Blues. It did benefit the Blues because Toronto wouldn't have been able to make that trade without O'Reilly's money getting taken somewhere else.
So this is where I want to hear your reaction to this. Okay, he says here basically that in that year there were 3 trades in which a third team retained the maximum of. There is a maximum, by the way, of 50% of a salary after the seller had also retained 50%, leaving the buyer with just 25% of the player's cap value. Okay, for their part, the third team got a pick. And he writes interesting that obviously, if you remember LeBron responded that the league has no issues with a third team being used solely for cap retention because hockey capital is being acquired by all parties. The Red Wings and Sharks in 2021 received mid-round picks in exchange for their help and were even allowed to help balance the checkbook by sending out another contract. So the NHL feels that this is like a normal use of cap space as an asset to make a real trade. So while it does create situations in which the rich get richer without otherwise having the cap space to do so. All parties are being reasonably compensated within the NHL rulebook. Teams may not like it, but that doesn't make it illegal. And with the flat cap environment likely continuing for another year or two, this style of trade is not going away.
Yeah, I didn't say it. First of all, I got to go back to Jason Nichols' comment. Jason, you're absolutely wrong, bud. Can you put that up, Ash?
Yep.
He says, as far as money goes, I don't care, not my problem. Absolutely your problem. Because let's take $3 million for the next 8 years per year, $3.5 million, and not have it to spend on a player that can help this team. That's exactly what that money does. So it does affect you. It does affect you. It affects you deeply. It affects in how what players you can get on your team, what players you can, free agents you can sign, what you can sign of your RFAs, because it's dead money. It's money you can't spend, and it's money you're paying a player to go play somewhere else, play against you. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I have a problem with that. I want that money in our pocket. I don't want us paying somebody else's salary for years to come. I mean, look at Minnesota. They're eating $10 million. That's 2 to 3 players, solid players that they can't have. Bad ownership, bad management.
Right,
Matt
but
Lowe?
like I mentioned before, the fact that they told the Oilers no to retaining salary on Parayko and not making that trade is so smart. I mean, look at the trade that they made for Ekholm. Would you make that trade for Parayko? No. So then going ahead and saying no, that was good management. My question for the Blues and for the management there is, do you have a plan? Do you have an idea where you say, look, we're firing the coach in the offseason. We are planning on doing this and bringing in this guy to help out with the scouting. We are not just going to go ahead and say, let's say you guys get the first pick somehow. And there's a question of Bedard or not Bedard. I don't want it being like, yeah, we're taking Bedard. I want to hear something like, we got a plan. We're looking into it. We have our scouts going out for it. That's management, being able to do things like that. That's where you have to ask the Blues management, what's your plan? And Guy usually comes up with some good plans. I mean, I'm sure they should hire him into that system. But but at the end of the day, that's the key here. Yeah, you could say that about them. Oh, come on, Ryan.
First of all, I get it that it's just a few months' salary. I get it. I get that it's just a few months' salary, and that's fine. It's just there's other things happening that I think, and one of the things Shaggy brought up was the rich getting richer. And that's what this third party does. It allows the rich to get richer, and it allows those teams that don't want to compete and not compete. And that was one of the biggest issues when the salary cap first came in 2004. When the salary cap first came in, the league had no problem bringing in a salary cap. They believed that they needed a salary cap, and the players were okay with a salary cap. What the players were insisting on, and the league fought back at this so hard, was a salary floor that teams had to spend to a minimum. The league fought that. Until the players finally said, this is a non-negotiable thing. Either there's a floor or there's no cap. So they had to put a floor in. Right?
Well, this is where
and you have teams right now subverting that floor in Buffalo, in Arizona, and other teams. And those teams are getting free money every year from the NHL because they don't bring in enough revenue. Well, you know what? To me, if you're not having 25 players or 23 players on your roster every single night that are on the ice or are available to be on the ice, then you don't get a dime from the pool. That's the way I think it should be.
Okay, but again, this is where I was interested in what you had to say about this line, because according to what the NHL felt in 2021, They said it's not a problem. It's a no problem with the use of cap space as being an asset to make a legitimate trade. So even though it creates a situation where the rich get richer without actually, with otherwise not really usually having that cap space to do so, everyone's getting something back. So teams may not like it. Like other people might think that it's not fair. And I do agree that there's maybe too much about it, meaning I think that even though the limit is 50, they have to lower it to 25, meaning I think it has to be where more like it's controlled. It has to be a controlled chaos. It can't just be like just out there with teams just using this law. I agree. Yeah. You know what?
Well,
if you
I want to address Ryan Green's comment. Okay. Sorry, Shags. Right?
No, please.
Tampa didn't subvert the cup or the cap to get the cup. They had a player that was injured and needed surgery and was on surgery the entire year. And the way the cap works, there is no cap during the playoffs because the players don't get played during the playoffs.
Well, would it help to make one?
I think it would. I think it would. The problem is, how do you insert a cap when the players aren't getting paid?
I'll explain to you how. Because in baseball, they extend the bench. They allow you to bring in more players in order so that in the playoffs, you have more of an extended bench. The players being brought in are not getting paid more for just being up in the majors, okay? Because it's playoffs, right? They're not getting paid more for that. So you need to create a way where even if the cap space is high, right? Even if you're giving a big cap space or something like that, there should be some type of control in which they say, well, if you have more than this amount, right? Which even if it's a big number, you have to look at what was the highest amount used in the playoffs and try to figure out, how it could be used. Oh gosh, man, Guy was cursing that much at me.
Oh, that was bad. That was real bad.
That was real bad. Oh, there we go. 1 second. Guy, you got to put on music while you do this.
Yeah, this is the perfect time for your little stripper song.
Yeah, all right.
Hello. Yo, what's up?
Jason, I'll take that compliment right there.
You on the stream?
I like those warm-up jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Why is Shaggy like he's listening radio?
Yeah.
Look, no. I get where everybody's coming from. I really do. I'm a rule stickler. Pretty much, I like rules. And I see a lot of teams bending the rules, and I would love to see it be the competitive balance be there because that's what it was supposed to be. But we've gotten away from that, right? And we haven't talked about this. The game just started, but we haven't talked about this yet. The Blues just went all in for a system that wins a cup once every 10 to 15 years. Isn't that it? And I don't understand.
One second.
So many people aren't upset about that.
No. 1 second. Okay. You guys have number one, you guys could still land up turning around and making a trade for a guy like Chikrin or for someone else because you have the players and the space to do it. You do. I'm not agreeing. I'm not saying it's the right move, Ashley. I'm not discussing right moves. Okay. I wouldn't want you guys to get Chikrin because he needs to go to a team that is not up to developing because that's not the point of trading for him. But I mean, when you're talking about development, what if you could go to a team like the Kraken who do want to take more players and say, well, give us some of your younger guys. I mean, you know what I mean? There's a way to go ahead and do such a move like that. I think that the Blues aren't messed over. I think the teams in a worse spot are teams like the Canucks, okay? Because I believe that you have a top 10 goalie in hockey, okay? I believe that Binnington's at the 9 or 8, 9, 10 spot of goalies. When you have a goalie that's a top 10, you are already, okay, in a great spot to set up for your future. Now the question is, how do you set up your offense and forwards? And does your management turn over and actually move on with the rebuilding and learn how to do that?
First of all, having a top 10 goalie is great. The problem with that is we have a bottom 5 defense. We have a system that creates bad defense. Instead of it does the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. This is a system that is supposed to create such a strong defense that the other team doesn't score. But what it does is it puts players so defensively minded that when they're on offense, they're still thinking defense, and they make all kinds of mistakes that destroy the defense. And this happens time and time again. One of the things I brought up in one of the groups, I put on there, someone said, I believe this is all on Berube. I responded, I believe this has been on Berube for a long time. And I get a laughing face from somebody. And I said, why are you giving me a laughing face? Right? We traded all the so-called troublemakers, and we're still losing. And the 2-goal leads. You want to know how bad this offense is, or this system is? Go back 4 or 5 years, the 2-goal leads. We have talked about this team giving up 2-goal leads for years. For years, since Berube came, even before Berube came.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't changed. And this is the same system that Hitchcock employed. It's the same system that Joe employed. It's the same. Now it's employed by
Berube.
I'm sorry, I'm watching the game there, watching that shot. And it's the same thing over and over again. Give up 2-goal leads, give up 2-goal leads, go into prevent defense, 2-goal lead, prevent defense, 2-goal lead, prevent defense. It burns us more than anything else. Yet, we're Berube's the greatest coach in the world. Berube's the greatest coach in the world. Oh, no. It can't be Berube.
Oh, boy.
It's not Berube's fault. It's the players' fault, because the players have to go out there and play so hard. No. It's just thought process that just because these guys make millions of fucking dollars, that they have to go out there and play so goddamn hard every night with a shitty boss. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter whether you make $1.50 an hour or $10 million a day. If you have a shitty boss every fucking day, it is absolutely impossible to go to work and do your best.
Well,
it is.
As hard as it is, which I agree it is, I do not believe that whoa, holy cow. I do not believe that the Blues don't know that. Okay, I don't believe that they don't know that. I believe that they're not interested in firing a coach when they're not going to get their coach of their future this year. Why would you fire? Let's think about it. Why do you fire a coach midseason? Either you're in such a bad hole where firing the coach is what will help. 2 will be because you have someone you like better, and 3 is if you need someone to blame it on. And right now, I think the fact that they put it so much on the players makes it sound like they're not going to put it on Berube.
You know, maybe I am a recording, Nathan, and I can always see Ashley's already pissed at me.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing. Am I wrong here?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
I believe that you're right, that he has not been good. I just believe as well that as much as he hasn't been good, they might fire him at the end of the season just to be able to bring on a coach that's better at development.
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I think they've gone
He
all
just
in
signed
on
his
this
contract.
system. What?
They just signed him last season to a contract. He's got like 3 more years.
Contract. They're not going to eat 2 years of that contract. They're not going to do it. Right?
By the way, just for all the Blues fans, I am not here to usually make you guys mad, but Tage Thompson just scored his 41st goal? What was that?
Sweet.
Well, I mean,
hey, look, it's good for my fantasy team. That's why I care.
the Blues have 0 replacement options, so you can't change. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Nathan.
You can't fire the coach because we have 0 replacement options right now.
That's what my point was before, that you only fire the coach if you have an idea of somebody that you want to put in.
What do you mean there's no options? You have Ott. I think Ott's a good option. You have Barry Trotz.
1 second. What type of guys do you want to bring in?
No, he's not. He's with Nashville. He's with Nashville now.
Yeah.
You what? Both of you at the same time.
He's with the Predators. Trotz is not available.
Okay,
All right,
Trotz did go to the Predators. I heard a rumor. I didn't know if it was
Guy,
set.
I've got to run, but I will end off, and maybe I'll come back on later. I will end off with this. as much as I know, I'm a very optimistic Ranger fan. I'm a very optimistic hockey fan, but as much as I believe the Tarasenko move was great for the Rangers, I think the Kane move will be better. I think that Tarasenko could be the more upsetting move than Kane. Okay, it could be, and because I believe that it could be too big of a floor for Tarasenko, it possibly. Okay, I still believe he's going to be great for them as well. I think that the Maple Leafs are messing themselves over, and I do believe that the Blues saying no to the Oilers was huge of showing that we're not just making any trade, and that's really good. All right, I'm gonna be back on later.
Yep. Okay. I like Ott. I talked to a couple of media members, and they felt that Ott is still young enough that he's actually played with some of these guys or been around, so they have he has their ear. But you know what? And again, I tried to bring this out, and I don't know if it got Tom. I'm trying to watch it, Matt Lowe, and talk at the same time, so it's not easy, and I have it in my ear.
I'm gonna hop off here because it sounds like my kids are yelling.
No problem. Okay, so it's just me now. I'll do the best I can. So I'll be paying attention to the game. I hope he doesn't. I really don't, but he just signed a 2 or 3 year deal. So, I mean, that makes it a little tougher, Jose. Right? That does make it a little tougher. Blues are actually out shooting a team 8-1. When was the last time I said that? Yeah, but guaranteed contract. And you have to eat that money. So I don't think that the Blues are in a financial position to be able to do that. Yeah, I'll say that. Solid so far. McTavish was a mistake to begin with because you just added another defensive coach to an already defensive bench. It didn't make any sense to have him there. You needed a Montgomery type that had some offensive mind in him and work with guys that way. I keep seeing you guys keep calling it on the players, and I get that. Okay, I do. But I keep seeing the players doing the exact same thing time and time again. And if it's on the players, coaching staff changes that. And they haven't. I'm trying to see what was. I had something under my arm here. Just kind of look weird. I don't see that happening. I see the players putting in this coach's system, and the system looks like it just doesn't work anymore. And the players getting the blame for it. That's what I see. I know Ashley doesn't like that. I know Matt Lowe doesn't like that. I know there's others that don't. Mark Crawford. Maybe. Kyrou gave the puck up twice. That's not on Berube. Yeah. Let me pay a little more attention, Matt Lowe. But okay, Matt Lowe, here's the thing. You keep blaming Kyrou does this, Kyrou does that, Kyrou does that. What if the system is causing Kyrou to do that? They can't even get in the back check. They don't even get the puck into the zone. And when they do go in the zone, they stop at the circle. I don't know, bud. Nathan, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Okay, fair enough. watch how easy they go through the neutral zone and watch how hard it is for us to go through the neutral zone. Right? Every single time. Look at that. Guys, right there. There's no one to help in the neutral zone, ever. There we go. They score on their second shot. Yeah, Bennington didn't have a chance. All right, okay. Go fast, 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 go fast in our own zone and have no energy to go fast in the other zone. Yeah, we know that. We talked about it. We had Shaggy on earlier, Craig, and he talked about it. Shaggy's our Ranger guy. On their second shot of the game. There we go. Another, no one to help out. Let's just throw the puck around and see what happens. Falk gives up the puck. Oh, man, this is just so hard to watch, guys. This is just absolutely hard to watch. Well, Nathan, here's my, I understand what you're saying. Here's my issue. What was this team last year? That's the issue. That's the thing that gets forgotten about. This was a 109-point team last year. This was a top 5 team in defense and offense. This was one of the best offensive teams we had in years. And they weren't that defensive. They were very offensive. Why isn't the coach coaching that same thing that worked so well last year that almost took you to the second round? Or to the third round, pardon me. You had a chance at the Western Conference Final with that system, but you dumped it for this one. That is what gets forgotten about. That is a thing that I think everybody forgets about with this. This coach can coach a system that will make these guys successful because he proved last year, but he came into this year and immediately said, no, we're not doing that. We're doing what I want to do. Because we got knocked out in the second round, it wasn't good enough. So we're going to change it to my system that got us to the cup. That only gets you to the cup once every 10 to 15 years. That's the issue. That's the point. Berube got signed to that 3-year contract because he changed his style last year. And then when it came into this year, he said, fuck that. And went back to this old style that isn't working. And it's costed us some of the best players this team has ever had. Parashenko is an all-time great. O'Reilly could be considered an all-time great. Pietrangelo could be considered an all-time great. Losing a great a defenseman in Mikula and a defenseman in Barbashev, or forward in Barbashev. We lost, and that's part of it. But it showed it worked, so why not go back to that? Why not go back to that? And that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what everybody's missing. Everybody's saying, well, we have these players and they don't play that. They didn't last year, and we scored 109 points. We took an Avalanche. We gave the Avalanche the best they had the entire playoffs, including in the finals. They gave Schwartz his thing finally, and my TV went out, so I don't know if I hear it, but I don't see it. There we go. David! Brought Hitch back 2 years ago, not this year. McTavish was hired this year to replace Montgomery. End of the season? End of the season? Hey, David, when you get a chance this week on a 9-game day, give me a call. I want to talk to you about something, bud. I just had an idea pop into my head, and I think you might be able to help me with it. Right? I used to have a section on my segment on my show called Tattoo of the Game. And I know what the communities that you're involved in, that we might be able to bring that back and get some sponsorship or get some things to help this show expand. And you may be able to be the guy to help me do that. I think you'd be willing to do that. Guys have got to score, man. They can't do this. You're being outshot 8-4 and you're losing 1-0. And again, the passes, they're not. To me, the passing shows how messed up the system is. That guys are so confused by the system that they're not in the right place or the passes are off. And it is a terrible neutral zone system. We've been bad in the neutral zone for a long time. I can't remember the last time we were good in the neutral zone. I could see Schwartz for the Conn Smythe more than I could Bennington, to be honest with you. A lot of people forget, and I keep bringing it. Everyone talks about, well, he set the record for rookie goalies. He also tied the record for most losses. Everyone forgets that. He was going to set one of two records that night. He was going to either set the record for most wins by a rookie goalie in the playoffs or the most losses by a rookie goalie in the playoffs. He was going to set one of those two records. And he absolutely was spectacular in Game 7 when he needed to be. Shots are 9-5 for St. Louis. Or St. Louis. Yeah, it was something like that. He had 3 hat tricks. He either had 2 or 3 hat tricks. Not that. No. That's not true. That's not true. Not true. Not bad. I don't think he's looking that bad there, Ryan. But the overall team is just, they're still discombobulated. You know? Oh, nice move by Kapanen against Eberle. Oh, good shot by Kapanen, and it doesn't go in. Wow, that was a hell of a chance. Hell of a chance. Oh, let's hope so. Fair enough. Fingers bothering me. One more week. Just checking out my messages, see if I'm missing anything. Because I get a lot of stuff during game days. Just keeping up. Check my fantasy league. We're at a commercial break right now. No, it is not. When I got it, I couldn't get a number on it. I didn't get a number on it. I didn't have time to wait. So, and I was kind of watching money a little bit. So I might get a number on it later. Yeah, it was a good chance. It was a really good chance there, Matlow. Right? He held on to it a little too long. He double clutched it, and that's why, the goalie had a chance to stop it. Right? Double clutch, and that's where it is. This is the guy's last chance. I do too. I really like this jersey. Oh, I just hung mine back up. I have this one. I have that one. That one I think is my actual Winter Classic jersey. I don't think this is the second. I think this is my Winter Classic. It doesn't have the Winter Classic patch on it, but I'm pretty sure that's my Winter Classic. I don't know. I kind of like this one better. I think the yellow works. I really do. I think actually for me, it's not as much the yellow as it is the logo. I think the logo works better. And I think the yellow helps that logo pop. Yeah, they're showing that. Yeah, see, he double clutched that. He kind of waited. I think if he just fires that off, it goes in. The alumni wore something similar to this during the Warner Classic alumni game. God, I started. Did I? I know I started him today. I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I screwed up. Oh, man, it's showing I didn't start players I know I started. Maybe I didn't hit. Maybe I thought I hit submit. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. I did. It's just not showing it. Bennington's hurting me a little bit, but hopefully, hopefully it'll get better. I'm in 17th place, so if I have a really, really good day, I could actually slip into the playoffs. I mean, I'm going to get beat by the number one team seed, but it'll be worth it. Danny, you missed a hell of a show. Missed a good show, actually. I thought the first 30 minutes or so was really good, to be honest with you guys. I didn't get to go over this. Here, let me try it now. John Hefner, David AC, Nathan Moyers, Craig Moss, Bill Bacon, Jose Figueres, Tammy Pemberton, Justin Mullins, Jason Nichols, and some more that I can't see your name. Thank you so much for putting those thumbs in the air. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it, man. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep the likes coming. We appreciate it. I was not 15 minutes late. I was about 5 minutes late, and I had freaking internet problems. So kiss my tush there, Matt Lowe. I was not that late. In fact, I know for a fact I wasn't because I came on an hour and 3 minutes ago. Yeah, big old Bill showed up. At least he put a like on there. Hopefully he's watching. I don't know, David. Right? Thank you, David. See, now David saw what I go through sometimes. David was with me when I tried to set up the first night. We did a test setup at Cusimano's. And you talk about you talk about, wow, man, just going through it. We had issue upon issue, and it kept getting said that it was my issue. It's your problem. It's your problem. It's your problem. And it turned out it wasn't my problem at all. Right? At least that's something I now know. And if I do go back to Cusimano's, I'm going to have to look at having my own speakers, right? To get around their sound system, because really good chance against Bennington. Bennington is a lot better than people give him credit for. And you called him, oh, nice. Wow, what a save there. Was that Kaepernick? That's his second solid scoring opportunity. What a backhand. Yeah. What a backhand. Wow. Yeah, really, really good shot. That creates a face-off that we don't win. Yay, another face-off we don't win. I know, I'm so bad, right? Shots at this moment are 10-7 in favor of the Blues. Attempts, the Blues have 20 to the 24. 20 for the Kraken. One game, Matt Lowe. I mean, a good solid game, but one game. Let's, we got to curb the enthusiasm there. I'm not sold on this being a great pickup yet. I mean, it could be. It could be. He's showing shines, but, think about this. Pittsburgh, they let him go. Just let him go. Right? Well, we're going to end this period down 1-0. Why do you think he needs a different number? Why do you think he needs a different number? Why don't you like 42? Who was 42 that you... Because I don't know Blues numbers as good as I should. I know the big ones, but who was 42 that you would think that needs to get tamed? Actually, on this case, no. They did not want him. They knew he wasn't going to clear. They knew Kapanen wasn't going to. Oh, Backes, okay. Backes has been gone long enough, and I don't think Backes is ever going to get it retired. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, Jerry. I'm okay with that. Right? No, Craig. The Pittsburgh put him on waivers. Basically, with I think it was, they said that it wasn't like they put him on waivers and we're going to ask him to go down. They put him on waivers with looking to nullify his contract or something like that. So that wasn't. No, I didn't say retarded. I said retired. I don't think his number is going to be retired. David. I'll agree with that, Craig. I'll from that point of view, I will agree with that. Could be, but I'm real careful with rumors, bud. I kind of don't. It depends. I'm driving, guys, 12 hours a day, 8 to 12 hours a day. So I don't have the time that I used to go look at all these articles that some of you guys do. So if you guys have articles, send them to me so I can look at them. Right? If you see something you think I'd be interested in, send it to me. Right? We like to move it. We like to move it. We want to move it. I never understood how that word got used the way it did. Right? To retard is to go backwards. To go backwards. That's all it means, to go backwards. The way we use it and I don't want to say the word because it's got negative incantations to it. The way we use it, we take it to mean not yet, but I've come close. I come really close. The worst I've had yet, I got 4 Middle Eastern sailors in the car, and they started like, can you take us here? Can you take us there? This, that, and the other. And I'd had a really bad night to begin with. And my car is an XL car. So I can fit lots of luggage and I can fit 6 people, or I can fit 2 suitcases, 4 people in 2 suitcases. They had more than that. And they took the lower X instead of the XL. And I straight up stopped at the McDonald's and I said, either I get a $30 tip or I'm ending the ride. And they were like, well, it told us it was only 20. I said, look, You guys took the wrong thing. You're asking me to do things that could get me in trouble. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm telling you, I'm losing money taking this trip. You either give me a $30 tip or I'm ending the ride. You can call Uber and report me all you want. I don't care at this moment. They agreed to the $30 tip and gave it to me in cash. So I got a 1 because I didn't take someone to a restaurant that they wanted to be taken to because that's not what the map told me to take them to. Not my fault, so I got to call Uber about that. Look how fast he threw that puck. No one, I mean, guys aren't ready for it. I don't have an issue with him using 42. No, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. Right? I don't think you need to see me scratching my nose and all that other dumb shit. Besides, I don't want to broadcast if I do something stupid, which I'm probably going to end up doing sooner or later. Right? Apparently, I'm a shitty writer. I just looked today, and my writer rating was 4.89. I think people drop your rating if you don't tip, and I don't do that. I don't do that. I give everyone a 5. I've given one person not a 5 because I don't think that that's right. You know, unless someone's really bad in the car. I mean, the one that I did, that is true. I do need a dash cam. I need to get me one. I do agree with that. The other thing, the only thing, I had a guy doing poppers in the car, and that really upset me. Him and one other person, I've put no on 3 people that I would not take them again, but I didn't rate them bad. And I think that's something there too. If you get rated down, you need to get told why. All right, I do need to ask him, Danny, don't be so. Danny, get your fucking mind out of the gutter. Get your damn mind out of the gutter, bud. All right, you guys having fun today, huh? 13 of you is still watching me, and then okay, let's go over to stats. And hard tongue, Terry Bradshaw, thank you. Okay, stats. Blues outshot the Seattle Kraken 11-8, but are down on the scoreboard 1-0. The Kraken ended up having 21 attempts, and the Blues ended up having 22 attempts. Blues had 8 hits, Kraken had 7. Neither team gave it away. Blues took it away 3 times, the Kraken took it away 7. Kraken blocked 7 shots. Blues blocked 10. Man, I can't talk. Blues are winning the face-off battle 10-6 for 63% to 38%. There were no penalties in that period. Geeky got the only goal from Sprong at the 9:30 mark on just the second shot by the Kraken. So the Blues played really well to begin with. St. Louis on the ice. Number 9, 26, 47, 59, 75. Man, I can't remember. 9 used to be done. Who's 9 now? Man, why can't I remember numbers? 47 is Krug. I know that. 26 is Walker. 9 is Pitlick. So Pitlick, Walker, Krug, and then Tucker and Alexandrov. There we go. Oh, it actually shows me it here. Okay, I didn't see that. There we go. Now I know how I can see that. Oh, I didn't know that before. Ooh-hee, I got it. Ooh-hee, ooh-ah. Ah, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah. Third period, second period. Man, I'm just messed up. Second period coming up. You know, you're in this game, but the second period has been your Achilles heel. You've got to really come in strong on the second period. You really need to do that. It's highly, highly possible. I called the last one. Someone brought this up. I think John Hefner brought this up. I called the overtime loss with 13 minutes to go in the third. Oh my! I didn't use that word. I didn't use the second word. Somebody else did. Oh no! Oh no! We lost Ashley. It happens. It happens. Oh man, where does that where does that come from? I know I've heard it like on a TV show or a commercial or a cartoon or something. Somebody's got to know where that comes from. Oh, where does that come from? Oh man. Yeah. Was it Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Is that it? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, right? Ooh, ooh, Yeah, I think that was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Danny's saying the witch doctor. Yeah, that's what okay, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. There we go. There we go. Ashley saying witch doctor. So one of the two. I don't remember the witch doctor. I remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I don't remember the witch doctor. I always thought Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was Shitty Shitty Bang Bang. Shitty Shitty Bang Bang. We love you. Huh? That didn't make any sense. Witch Doctor, the song. Oh, okay. Okay, so now they got me curious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I just seen it up. That I don't know who. Here we go. Hold on. Obviously, I can't play it. Yep. Witch Doctor. There we go. You guys got it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That wasn't Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was oh yeah, I like that. I knew I'd heard it before. I know I'm weird, right? Oh my goodness. What is today? Today's Tuesday. That's why Lance isn't here. Okay, I had to think about it. Might have been the 50s. I'm trying to see when I found this video. The guy, David Seville, is the one that originally did it. It doesn't say when it was. I'd have to look something else up to see it. But it looks like it had to be late 50s, early 60s. Late 50s, early 60s would be my guess, and I might be able to pull it up here in a second. Okay, I'm seeing the 1958 song. There we go. So late 50s, early 60s by Ross Baggerson, and also known as David Serville. There we go. I looked it up for you. Offensive zone possession time. Blues at 2 minutes and 30 to 128 for the Kraken slot shot. Blues had 5. Kraken had 4. Covered everything out. Chances 6-4 in favor of the Blues. This had to be one of those songs that was like really popular on what is that? David Seville's the guy that did the Chipmunks, isn't he? Right? And yeah, he's the guy. He's the Chipmunk guy, right? Isn't he? Let's see here. Yeah, he did. He was the guy that created the Chipmunks. I was pretty sure about that. David! Yeah. Yep. I am unique. Do you know how you catch a unique rabbit? Unique up on it. Right. I think Dr. Demento. I think that was one of the like prime songs on Dr. Demento. Right. And I'm betting very few people out there know who Dr. Demento is. Maybe I would guess maybe 2 or 3 of you know who Dr. Demento is. Right. I got introduced to Dr. Demento late. I mean, way late. Like I got introduced to Dr. Demento when I was in the Navy, in the 90s, right? And I got someone gave me a tape of his radio show, and I listened. I was like, wow, this stuff's good. Funny songs. Funny songs. Barbie Girl. Yeah. Well, we can't really use that one anymore. Because we don't have any Barbie to party. Gloria Seeper, Ashley Jones, thank you for putting the thumbs in the air. We appreciate it so much. Yeah, I don't think we can do Barbie Girl. Actually, see, one of their other songs that I like better than Barbie Girl, there's a couple of them that I really like. I really like Dr. Jones. And the other one that I liked that I think was like more of a an earworm was Happy Boys and Happy Girls, right? I think that was a better song all around than Barbie Girl was. And they did novelty songs. I mean, that's what they did. That's what Dr. Jones was, right? Dr. Jones was a novelty song. Barbie Girl was a novelty song. Happy Boys and Happy Girls was the novelty song. They sang novelty songs, so... Oh, they wore stuff from is that the Negro League stuff, maybe? No, Lady Hawks. I don't know what they were wearing. Yeah, Aqua. From Aqua. Second period's about ready to start. We have Dr. Demento to thank for Weird Al Yankovic. That is where Weird Al Yankovic comes from. Come on, Saad. It was that Kyrie or Saad that got that puck and just kind of let it hold. I mean, there's never any urgency entering the zone. Never. Do you guys notice that? There's almost zero energy entering the zone. Well, they're trying to get a cycle going. Somewhat of a cycle. Oh, Letty, and no one there again. Oh, nice shot by Letty. Oh! Seattle fires it out of play. That was a better cycle. That was better than we got in a while. Here's the Blues have acquired prospects: Hunter Skinner, Mikhail Amarov, Adam Gaudette, Zach Dean, 2 first-round picks in 2023, and they took it away. Yeah, City Soccer got that first win. Great win too. They were down 2-1 and get 2 goals to come back late. And one was a mistake, was by a former San Antonio player. Oh, 2 great chances, and both of them missed the net. Oh, man, come on. Get somebody in front of the net to put one of these in. The cycle's here. Oh, there was a good shot. I think that 79 is Blaze, right? Didn't they get Blaze 79? Yeah. Penalty. Trip. Oh, yeah, that was a trip. Oh, wow. I had that turned really low, Marilyn, because I can't really watch and hear them at the same time, and also talking to you. It's too much for me. We haven't gone hard in the power play for a while. We haven't scored a power play goal in forever. I don't have a problem calling Armstrong a great GM. I think he's a very good GM. But I have a huge issue with the way this season went out on both him and the coaching staff. I think the wrong question got asked and just missed. Right? I think the wrong question has been asked this season. Right? Everyone's looking and going, well, we suck anyways, so we got to do the sell-off because we suck. And that's not the right question. That's not the right thing to look at it. Why did we get to this place to begin with the team we had? That's the question to ask. That's the thing that's been missed. Why are we here to begin with? But Craig, has Army put us in it, or has someone else put us in it? That's the thing. I don't think Army put us in this situation. I don't. I think Army made moves that were correct. Oh, that was Kairu's struggling. I will admit that now. Kairu is struggling this game. Right, Craig? That's what, see, that's where I have the issue. What position did he put us in? This team, coming into this season, missed one major piece, one mid-major piece. Right? Haran left. They didn't re-sign Huso. Those were the two major pieces. And Huso isn't even a major piece to me. Right? I don't think a backup goalie is going to help us. I really don't. Because Bennington and Grace's numbers are pretty close to the same. And that gets missed. There we go. We're back in. Pitlick to the box for tripping. Why did those let's stop. Why did those contracts have anything to do with this situation? Those two contracts that don't start till next year? Till next season? Those guys aren't getting paid that right now. Those two contracts should not have mattered. And if they mattered to other players on this team, this was not a solid locker room to begin with. And if it wasn't a solid locker room, that's on coaching. That's absolutely on coaching. And, oh, wait a minute. We get a shorty. We get a shorty while I'm bitching. Right? That's what I've seen. That's what's been missed. That's the thing that no one's, in my eyes, haven't looked in. Yeah, that was an absolute shorty. Really good shot, too. That's Thomas's speed. He finally gets to use his speed, and what happens? A goal. And Berube's upset by that. Did you notice that? He put his head down? I think it was brilliant. That was just a good shot all the way around. But you notice how Berube put his head down. That's not what Berube wants. I don't think Berube likes shorthanded goals. See, that's the thing. Those huge contracts shouldn't matter. And not only that, here's the problem with them. Everyone says, numerically, they are the biggest contracts the Blues have ever given out. Great, but that's not a true comment. The biggest contracts the Blues ever gave out were to Tarasenko and Pietrangelo, especially Tarasenko. Tarasenko got his contract starting in 2015, and it was only $500,000 less than Thomas's and Kairu's. Well, you adjust that for inflation, and Tarasenko's contract was bigger. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. What conspiracy theory am I starting? I pointed out exactly what happened. You know what? There was room to sign those contracts. There's room for those contracts. Okay, well, he did put his head down, and maybe he does like shorties. I don't know, but he put his head down. Well, so much for that. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong. Oh, 5-0. Benny should have had that one. You weren't going to be able to sign both of them, but you could have signed one of them. And one of them would have taken a pay cut. Said he would. It wasn't a power play goal. Another cross-checking minor. Woo-hoo-hoo. We get a penalty. We get a power play. Maybe we can do something with it. I always said, Craig. I don't. You're semi. I think you're semi new. I don't think you were here when I at the beginning of the season. That me and Lance talked about this in depth. If I had my choice between signing Tarasenko or O'Reilly, I would have signed Tarasenko. Because goal scorers always score goals. And guys like O'Reilly break down quickly. I would have signed Tarasenko, but then O'Reilly goes to Toronto and gets a hat trick and 4 points. Tells you something, right? And let me look at something here real quick. I want to look at something real quick. So right now, next season we have about 9.5 million. With 16 players signed, or with 16 from our roster, but we have 31 contracts. See, that money's there, guy. The money's there. You know, you get guys that are making 750,000, 800,000, and you've got guys doing that, right? Your RFAs, two of your RFAs, Torpachenko and Brown, neither one of them are going to make more than $1 million. Neither one of them, right? Blaze is coming off. I don't see us re-signing Blaze at 1.5. I don't see us signing him. I don't know. I look at this and I think that you've got guys. You could have made this work. You could have absolutely made this work. Absolutely made this work. Because you got guys down on the farm that could fill some of these spots. Right? Bolduc. You could have bring Bolduc up. The other kid that you got, or is it Bolduc that's is Bolduc still in junior? Yeah, he's still in juniors. Dean's in juniors. You got the big money that you're going to have to be paying next year is your minor leaguers. You're going to lose a lot of minor leaguers next year. Oh, there goes that. Thomas goes to the box, so there we're in our power play. 4-on-4. You're bringing Hoffer in, so that's going to save you some money. I don't know. I just think that money's there, and the cap was supposed to go up, so you got to do that. You know, that's fine. That Bob, that's absolutely fine. I get how some people, you know, can there are people who can work for a bad boss. There are people who can do it. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I've had so many bad bosses, I don't even know what a good one is anymore. So that's why I work for myself. Good chance he will be. I think he will. He's still in college, right? I'm pretty sure he will. Oh! Ah! Nice movement 4-on-4. Nice movement 4-on-4. Ah, Danny Johnson put his thumb in the air. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Danny. I heard the players yelling when Dunn was going to the bench. I heard the yelling. I was like trying to figure out what it was, and then they threw that up the side. That was a good, beautiful goal, right? Yeah, he beat Jones like a rented goaltender, right? Fight Jones like a rented goaltender. We have not had many of those this season. Not in the least bit. Well, we're leading this period 2-1. That's good. Let's see if we can maintain it. We're almost at hockey halftime, as they call it on the radio. Blues are out, are winning the shooting battle 16-14, but this period, they are being outshot 6-5. Kinda. There was a bad pass that almost led to a odd man break. Ah. So hey, just so you know, and I'll put this out during the intermission. I think the Blues have a bunch of games in April or in March, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of them. I'm going to have to pick and choose. Some of these late games I may not be able to do. I know we got like 3 late games coming up. We got 3 home games coming up that are no, 3 away games that are both at 5:30, and those might be harder for me to do. I may be able to do Thursday. I think I'll be able to do, and Saturday, I may be able to do. The one on Tuesday at 4, I don't know if I'll be able to do. I'm gonna have to pick and choose going on. There's some of these, like the one on Friday at 1:00. And these are my times, right? Hey, Maddie! It's doing, my friend. I got some therapies coming up and things like that I got to deal with. I'll just do this. I'll do it the best I can. Okay, guys, but we play almost every other game, every other day in March, and then we got a bunch in April, including we end with the home and home against Dallas. I'll kind of see. I'll play it by ear, but there will be no off game shows, right? There will be no off game shows. Robert says, what do you think the Blues do with all these picks? Make a deadline deal, package a deal in the offseason, or just make picks in the draft? I right now see in the draft, I see a deal, a draft day deal with some of these picks. I see them having a guy that they want between 5 and 10. I mean, there might be in 10 anyways, but maybe having a higher up guy that they can maybe package their number 10 pick and one of the bottom 10 picks to move up into the 4 or 5 spot. Maybe a prospect there. But I don't know. They want young guys, but I see. I'm not sold on the draft. In all actuality, you go look at the Blues draft picks, and I had that pulled up a while ago. Let me go back. You look at some of our draft picks. First round draft picks. Go with our first round draft pick starting, say, 1980, right? These are our number 1 picks starting in 1980. And the reason I'm picking 80 because there was enough teams in the league that it made sense. In 81 there were 20 picks. There were 20 plus teams in the league. So you're looking at more teams in the league, right? So Rick Wilson was the 12th overall pick, played 251 games. Marty Ruff was the number 20 pick, never played a game in the NHL. Younger brother Lindy Ruff, never played in the NHL. Jocelyn Lemieux was the number 10 overall pick, played with 6 teams, played 598 games. Keith Osborne, number 12 pick in 87, played 16 games in the NHL. Rod Brindamore, number 9. There's a good one, 1,400 games. There's one we made out with. In 89, our same number 9 pick, Jason Marshall, 526 games. Right? That's it. And there's not even much on him here. Right? 96, Marty Reisner, 798 games. Okay, 14th overall pick. So. 24th overall pick, Christian Backman from Sweden, 302 games. Probably the best pick they've got here in the first round is Barrett Jackman, number 17 in 99, Rookie of the Year, 896 picks. Then you have 2000, 30th overall, Jeff Tate, 180 games. 2003, first overall, Sean Bell, 20 games in the NHL. And he didn't even play with the Blues. Right? So he didn't even come up with the Blues. Merrick Schwartz, number 17 overall in 2004, goalie, played 6 games in the NHL. 2005, we got a good one. Eric Johnson, TJ Oshie, 803 games. 2006, for a number 1 overall pick, he was a good draft pick, but not a number 1 overall, especially that year. And that was Eric Johnson, 776, still playing. 2006, Bergeron at 25th. 13th overall pick, 2007, Lars Eller. 754 games, most of them with somebody other than the Blues, I think. Right? 2007, also 18th overall, Ian Cole. Won some Stanley Cups, but it's been 2007, 26 overall, David Perron. This is the Bill Armstrong era now, what we're getting into. Well, there we go. Right? I'm looking at these picks, and even recently, right? Kurt Bennett was a number 2, 16th overall pick, number 2, second round in 68. I've talked to him. Good kid, good guy. Jimmy Snugard, Zach Bolduc, we'll see where they go. Dominic Boak, we traded him away. Right? Clem Costin, 31st overall pick in I've only got him listed as 4 games. I know that ain't right. So this isn't updated on Costin. Robert Thomas, they don't have enough games for him. Tage Thompson, they don't have enough games for him. Robbie Fabry, who we don't have. Jordan Schmaltz, we don't. We got rid of. Where did Schmaltz go? Playing in the Swiss League. So you look at it, we have more guys that didn't play for us. I'm just not sold on this draft. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just not sold on it. Deadline's Friday. I agree with that, Robert. I absolutely agree with that. Maybe. We won't. I have no clue, man. It's a lot of bandwagon fans who just think they know everything. There's no way we get Bedard. No way. No way. Right? I don't see it. Maybe. Petrangelo would be up there with his career still going on. Well, see, the thing with that is I can't compare it to other teams because I have to compare to. It's hard to do that because who's picking them and that and since Bill, you can tell the Bill Armstrong era, right? I mean, that Bill Armstrong was very good at drafting guys, but we don't have Bill Armstrong anymore. We won't win. We will be at the best 7th. And I don't see us going from 7th to 1st. I don't see that happening. Robert, you're getting called out, bud. Yeah, I let's see here. Going back a decade. Well, we can't go back a decade. Actually, no. I think it would be Robert Thomas. I think Thomas. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say right now. I think they're close. And when you're going back a decade, you also got to bring in, you got Tarasenko there in 2010 and Schwartz, right? We had no first-round pick in 2011, no first-round pick in 2013. Petrangelo in 2008. So I'd actually say there's 3 that are better than, because you can't count, you can't start. You can go back to 2017 and go back that way, but if you start now, talking about Sugard, Bolduc, Neighbors, and Bach. Well, Bach's out, but Neighbors, Bolduc, and Sugard, the jury's still out of them, so you can't really make that. So to me, you got to start at the 2017 mark. These are guys that are NHL players, and that goes all the way back to maybe Petrangelo in 2008. Who's on the power play here, down 3-2. And a lost pass. So that's kind of how I see it there. Yeah, and that's the big thing, man. That's the really big thing. with that. Yeah, Vladdy. Yeah, I brought Vladdy into that 2010. That was in that quote unquote last decade because you can't count the last 3 years. Right? I love you guys. You guys make me so happy sometimes. You make me happy, so very happy. Oh, that was bad. Bad, I said bad. No one needs him. Oh, Saad slowed down there. He should have taken a step. 2012 to this year. See, I got to be. I can't go that far because you're going into 22 and you're taking in account draft guys that haven't gone back there. Right, and that's my problem because you can't count the last 3 years because these guys haven't been up yet. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Craig. I think that's an absolute proven, right? Absolute proven. Going back to 2000, go all the way back to 2000. For me, it's got to be Tarasenko. I mean, Petrangelo's kind of up there, but I think Tarasenko's further up there. Incredible turnout for a Tuesday night. More than 4 people showed up. Leaf fans wouldn't shut up about it for the next 20 years. I got to put some more air on. Hold on. Maybe. I don't know why. But, I mean, when you look at the two's careers, whose career has been better? You know, I think that, I don't know, you're taking a defenseman you're taking a defenseman and a forward, so talking about two different positions and two different styles, but I don't ever remember Tarasenko getting a glove put in his face while a player sat on him. Blues trying to keep overtime losing streak going. I feel sorry for Bennington. I really do. This guy is playing his ass off, and he just zero support. So I mean, that's where I go. That's why I would pick Tarasenko over Petro. And also, I think Petro left a lot worse than Tarasenko did. And I know people are going to say that my love affair with Tarasenko is going to make that bias, but Tarasenko made comments. If they'd have offered him a contract, he'd have absolutely stayed. I don't know what the record is. I think it's like 4 or 5. I don't know what it is for the Blues. Can't be more than 3 or 4. That'd be too hard to look up. I don't have a stats machine that can help me look that up. Shots are 20-17 in favor of the Blues, but the scoreboard still shows that the Kraken are leading by 1, 3-2. The Blues are out shooting them and out attempting them, but they ain't outscoring them. As we go into the second intermission. First intermission, we only had 1 goal scored. We had 4 scored in the second. Along with 5, oh, no, is that right? 5 penalties. 5 penalties. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Schultz had 2 of them. He had a tripping and a holding. Shushi had 1, a cross-checking. The Blues are 0 for 3 on the power play. However, our boys, our friends, the Kraken, are 0 for 2, with Pitlick getting a tripping and Thomas getting an interference. Where are we at here? Okay, Geeky opened the scoring in the first period at 9 minutes and 30 seconds with a goal from Sprong and Larson. Then in the second, Robert Thomas on a pass from Bushnevich makes a short handy at 5:11 to make it 1. And then Seattle says, no. McCann from Dunn and Tollivan at the 6:57 mark, just almost 2 minutes later, a little less than 2 minutes later, make it 2-1. But Brendan Sauter, Pittsburgh native, gets a breakaway goal. Great stretch pass from Leddy to make it 2-2. But Seattle again says no. And Geeky makes it 3-2 with 13:32 at the 13:32 mark of the second period. Darkness, do you understand that the best we can do is probably 7th? We're not going to get the number 1 overall pick. We're not going to get the top 5 pick. It's not going to happen. Look at the standings. It's not going to happen. Now, I don't think we're going to win more than 5 games, but I don't think losing is that great. I don't see it's that great. And like I said, I think that if you, Darkness, I don't know if you were paying attention. I went over a lot of the Blues' number 1 picks late. And once Bill Armstrong leaves, they drop off. I could agree with that, Matt Lowe. I could agree it's overall been a better game. I think Blatty is a better overall pick. Petro was willing to take less money to leave St. Louis for whatever reason. He wanted out, and right after he goes to Vegas. He got an interview saying he wasn't going to raise his family in St. Louis. I didn't see that interview, so to me, he set St. Louis up. To me, he set him up. I think that's what it was. And that's funny considering his wife's from St. Louis, right? His wife's from St. Louis. So that's funny. Right? I saw something on Facebook. I'm going to put this up. I know it's going to piss some people off. I absolutely know what I'm about to put up will piss people off. But I think it really applies here and now. Dante's Inferno's telling me we need to lose. I don't know. It might have been old. Is that today or old? Oh, we lose in regulation. Yep. I don't think we're going to get as far down as everybody thinks we are in the draft. I don't. I think the best we might be able to do is 7th. And then there's a chance 2 teams could bop ahead of you and push you down to 9th anyways. I don't see it happening, but there's still a chance, small chance. Let's see if I can find this thing I'm looking for. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'm getting there. Here it is. Let me find the right thing. Okay, I'm going to show it up here. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No. See, the only way you get into the top 5 is you have to get picked up into you. See, Darkness. This is where you're so wrong, right? Let's say you're the 6th pick. The best you can do is 1 or 2, right? You're not going anywhere other than 6. You're going 1, 2, 6, 7, or 8. That's it. Those are the ones you can get. 1, 2, 6. 7 or 8. That's it. That's it. And I don't see us getting 1 or 2. I do not see us getting 1 or 2. There we go. To me, this is, it applies so much to what we're going through right now. Right? Lance, they got to do a job, and their job is to sell us on what's going on, to make us believe it is their job to feed us shit and tell us that it's caviar. That's their job. I don't like their job. I don't think that should be their job. Tad Dieterman, yeah, buddy. But that's their job. Right? Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. Putting people in the right positions to be successful. Using their strengths and raising their weaknesses. That's leadership to me. That's what I don't see on the Blues. I could be wrong. You guys have told me I'm wrong. But that's what I see, guys. That's absolutely what I see. I covered that. The Blues were outshot that period 10-9. But they're leading shots 20-18. Bennington is 18 for 20. Or no, pardon me. Jones is 18 for 20. And Bennington is 15 for 18. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. You know what? It is a work in progress, and I can't make a thought on that yet. But the problem is, I don't know that there's too much. There's too many unanswered questions, right? Am I happy about the retool, rebuild? No, I'm not. I don't think. I think that you don't have to do it, right? I absolutely don't think that you needed the retool. I think that there were other things to do. You had an open window for a cup, and you took it and slammed it shut yourself. Everything that we're seeing is self-inflicted. That, I think, even everybody who believes this is on the players can agree with. Everything that we're seeing now is self-inflicted. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that statement, Lance. I didn't hear him say it, so I turned the volume down. I kind of listen to names only, but I don't try and listen to everything you say because I'm talking with you guys, so, there's a lot going on for me. Yeah, you've had a headset on, Lance. You know what it's like when you have other people in your ear and, you got 4 or 5 things going on, right? Oh, that must have been on the radio then, so then I wouldn't have heard it. I would not have heard it. I guess they got the goalie for St. Louis City on at the Blues game. Blues aren't on this board. They shouldn't even in the hunt. They shouldn't even be in the hunt. They're so far behind. Played 59 games and they're 13 points behind Seattle. Not in the hunt. Not even close. I will agree with that, but I don't think that the window was shut yet. I think the window was still open and we slammed it shut. Lance, you're wrong there. That quote unquote minor league MLS team played a hell of a game and ended up coming back and scoring 2 goals to win that game. That's I disagree with your take there, my friend. I disagree with your take there. I think that this expansion team has done very well to build itself to not be an expansion team. And that comes from talking to the coaches, from interviews that I've been in when I was able to do interviews that tell you that I think that this team has done some things very, very right. Big ones right now are Colton Parayko, but I think those have all died. I don't think that you're going to see any more moves. The only move I could see is Grice. Right now, I think the Blues are just going to keep him. Right? I think that they're going to leave Hoffer down and not bring him up early. Right? Because he hasn't got his 9 games yet to where that year counts. So I don't see him going down. I don't see him getting traded and bringing Hoffer up. I see him waiting on that. Maybe, but I would think right now everything's already happened that's going to happen. And you know what? Levo's a Berube player. So that makes me think even more that it won't happen. Where is everybody? Come on, where are you? Wow. Yeah, I could see Ottawa. I could see making another small move. I don't see him making a big move. Rent a puppy. Never heard of that before. Never heard of that before. Where are we at, guys? You tell me where. Oh, let's give that. Let's go ahead and cover the stats here real quick. So Blues outshot them 20-18. Blues had 44 attempts to the Kraken 37 attempts. Or no, yeah, 37 attempts. I had to make so 37 to 44 attempts. Kraken had 9 hits to the Blues 14. Kraken gave it away twice. Blues gave it away 3 times. Here we go. Attempts, I was right. Chances 10-8 for the Kraken. Slot shots 9-8 for the Kraken. Offensive possession time. Blues at 5:34 to the Kraken's 3:49. Face-off battle. Blues are losing 18-20, 47% to 53%. And Blues have 15 block shots to the Kraken's 12. There's the stats for you. No. Well, I don't see him getting another first-round pick, but the problem is everybody wants him to retain salary, and I'm not retaining an ounce of salary on Parayko. Not an ounce. Yeah, for the most part, but you've seen a lot of flashes of where Seattle's better. A lot of flashes of that. Tammy! Hi, Tammy. How are you? I don't think any of them will. I really don't. I don't. I don't. Just don't. I'm sorry. I'm not there. I think that what's happened with this team, and Armstrong said he wants 26-year-olds, 25 to 26-year-olds, and none of those guys that we traded are 25 to 26-year-olds. Right? Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. I don't want either one of them. I don't want either one of them, Darkness. I don't want an equally bad contract. Now, think about this. If you retain half his salary, that's, first of all, the salary cap's only going up $1 million next year. You're negative $2 million on next year's cap already. And I don't want that. Right? I don't want that. You're hurting yourself. You're not helping yourself. Right? You're going backwards, not forwards. So I'm not there. I'm not there, Darkness. I'm just not there. I know Parayko has been. I'll tell you what. Parayko can be fixed. And I think that's the issue that needs to be looked at. How do you fix Parayko? And he can be fixed. And that's the thing that in the offseason, they've really got to work with him. Right? And they've got to give him some his offseason stuff and maybe hire him somebody, someone to beat the living shit out of him every day to make him tougher, right? Make him stronger on the ice, whatever. But Parayko's fixable, and that's the thing that I think's missed. I think Parayko is highly fixable. Brandon Wright! Brandon! If you fix him, you don't need to cover his weaknesses. That's the thing. Right? That is not a bad idea, Craig. That's not a bad. He's not a pronger, but he should be a pronger type, and that's the difference. The Brinket from Ottawa for Colton. No. Well, no, I would take that, but you need to add more in for that. I think the Brinket, in and of himself, because you'd have to suck up salary, and I don't want to suck up that salary. I think we need more from Ottawa for Colton. In my eyes. And that might be a big issue too, right? And if that's the case, that's a huge issue, and no one's going to take him. No one's going to take him if that's the case, right? Well, here we go, third period. I will probably not do much of a post game, maybe 5 minutes or so, maybe not even that much, depending on what happens. So I can get back out there and drive. I agree. I think he's had a decent game. Oh, Kyrou, nice shot there. But I wish he would have had somebody else with him. He has a 2-on-1 there. It's a tie game. Actually, I probably put it away a little bit ago. It is my game-worn Hoffman Plager jersey. It is my game-worn Hoffman Plager jersey. Well, overall, I mean, if you're just talking jerseys overall, not a single jersey that I have, I'm very proud. I like the clown jersey. I mean, everyone hates this one. I love it. I like this one. I like the Winter Classic one, and I really like the Arch logo one. Oh, I'll stick around for an OT loss. I'll agree with that, Jason. But he's got to, and that's the thing, right? I think for him to live up to that contract, he's got to change his game, and I think he knows that, right? That would be the clown jersey here, and then this one here. The clown jersey is the one they wore during Gretzky's year. Brown's such a big guy. Brown doesn't use his size either. Right? Brown's another guy that doesn't use his size. He started it but stopped. No, he hasn't, Craig. He hasn't at all. I'd agree with that. See, look, that was a nice pass by Bennington, and nobody there, so an icing on Bennington. That someone should have picked that up. Oh, that was a nice outlet pass by Bennington. That was a nice hip check by Alexandra. I don't know, bud. I think that I think a lot of them feel that they got solid teams, and making too many moves, destroys your chemistry. And I think I think there's some teams out there that made way too many moves. There are some teams that made a bunch of moves that won't make it out of the first round. Nobody around the puck. Nobody around the puck. Yeah, and I think that they've ruined themselves. I think that they made too many moves. And I think the Rangers have made too many moves. You don't have enough time in the season left, right? You've got, less than 20 games, 20 or so games to do a season's worth of work, right? I don't think that's enough time. But you get into the playoffs and you're just not completely clicking. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's why, that's the thing. That's the one thing that I think a lot of GMs need to start paying attention to, right? Where's Bob Morton at? Bob's going to love this. Bob Morton, are you out there? All right, I'm waiting. I want to know if Bob Morton's out. I want to make sure Bob Morton's there before I say this. See, hold up before you guys go on me. I want hoping Morton's here, but I don't see him. How many of you guys are NASCAR fans? How many of you guys are NASCAR fans? I want to know how many of you out there are NASCAR fans. Oh man, I just seen that. Yeah, he ran right into Bennington. And you know what? We're going to lose the penalty. We're going to lose the penalty. I bet we lose the penalty. Because I seen both with their arms up. Okay, so none of you guys are NASCAR. No NASCAR in Canada. Actually, that's not true. I thought they ran a race in Canada. Maybe not. I know they have F1 up there. But even F1, it's the same. Right? Oh, wow. Right? Right. Hey, Jim, how you doing, bud? So, in auto racing, you send your car out there, right? You send your car out there and you do your laps and you time it and all that. When the car comes in and the driver tells you, well, it feels this or it feels that, what do they do? What do they do next? They make one change. One change. And then they send the car back out. And it comes in and they tell them, and then they make one more change. They make one change at a time. Why do they make just one change at a time? Why don't they make 2 or 3 changes? Why don't they change tire pressure or weight distribution or camber or make all these different changes? Why do they make one change at a time? This is so important, and I wish NHL GMs would abide by this. Right? So they know what the change did. They know what the effect of the change was. Did they go faster or did they go slower? Was it tighter or was it looser? What's the effect of the change? When you make all these changes, like Rangers have done, like Toronto has done, like the Blues have done. You don't know what the effects of those individual changes are. Right? You don't know. Here we are in a power play, and we almost gave up a shorty. So they switched it with Kaepernick. No, I do not. Do not. It will never go to that. Oh, I just missed popping that in there. Another wasted power play. Another wasted power play. If I was a GM, I would make my changes. I would start my changes in November/December. If I'm seeing, a trend going down or whatever, okay. What is the trend? Like our trend of of giving up all these goals is defense. I would have made a change in December with the defense, right? And saw what happened. Did we get better? Did we get worse? Right? And then, okay, we got worse. Well, then now that change didn't work. Let's make another change. Right? It's worse than that. It's like 0-19 or 0-20. For the last 23. I knew it was farther up. 0 for the last 23. I thought the last game was 0 for 19, and I was right. 0 for the last 23. Right? That's one of the things in the NHL that I'm starting to see is a lot of archaic thinking. And if that thinking changed just a little bit, Bennington made a really good save there. Change the thinking just a little bit. Right? Do what Billy Beane did. Billy Beane did not win a championship, but changed baseball forever. Think about this now. Billy Beane never won a championship, has not won a championship, but changed baseball forever. And for the better, not for the worse. Right? A lot of teams that couldn't compete now compete because of Billy Beane. And some of these archaic teams that go out and buy players and not runs are still in the same position. They're still not winning when their lower teams are competing. Right? It would take one GM to go against the grain, look at his team with his coaching staff and say, okay, we have this problem right now. What change can we make to fix this problem? One change. Not a bunch of changes, one change. Right? You make one change, and then you see what happens. Okay, guess what? We're getting better there. We're still not there. Okay, so that change worked. What's next? What's the next change? What's the next change? What's the next change? Until you get where you need to be, where you're winning 75% of your games, where you're a Stanley Cup contender. Maybe it takes 2 years. But that's how you build that team. What do you mean, what's the Blues change? They changed everything. Right? And look at the players they got rid of. They're trying to go young, and they made all these changes that they don't know what the result of those changes are going to be. Right? You don't know what the result of getting rid of a 40-goal scorer is going to be. You don't know what the result of getting rid of your captain is going to be. Right? You don't know what the results of your coaches with younger talent. You just don't know. There's too many changes. At least that's how I feel. You know what? That's not a true statement. 2 of them I absolutely were going to resign, but we didn't offer them contracts. So when you say they weren't going to resign, that's kind of a misnomer. Okay? That's a huge misnomer because Tarasenko would have resigned. He said it. He had to be offered a contract. O'Reilly, I'll stay in St. Louis for less money. He would have resigned. 6. I think it's 6. It's 5 or 6. And actually, I don't think we have a single goal scorer. Now, Kyra scored. No, wasn't Kyra. Who was it? Somebody scored a goal. I think we only have 1 goal scorer left. I think we have 1 goal scorer left. I'd have to go back and look. I think we only have 1 goal scorer left from the Stanley Cup Finals. If that. I know Barbashev didn't score. Well, Barbashev is gone. I don't think Thomas scored. Thomas was injured. Thomas was in the press box. There you go. No tie game this time. Hey, we're just playing around. See, that's another misnomer. The cap space there was more cap space than people think, right? There was some cap space available, and there is, things could have been done. One of them could have been signed. Thomas or Tarasenko or O'Reilly. One of them could have been re-signed, right? And at least that's the way I look at it. Right? Kapanen's hurt. Let's hope he doesn't have a broken hand. But is younger the right way to go? Right? Is younger the right way to go? Right? That's what I'm trying to get at. Is younger the right way to go? And that's the thing. You know, too many changes. That's the change thing I was talking about. Right? Anybody excited for Ted Lasso on March 15th? I am. Chicago, and that's about it, and barely. Especially now that Kane's gone, yeah. They're better than Chicago, and they're probably better than Arizona. Barely on both of that. Hey, Fugly. It's another loss, another Fugly loss.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, exactly what I said it was going to be.
I mean,
John Hefner, if you don't know who Ted Lasso is, you're in trouble.
who doesn't know who Ted Lasso is?
Are you excited for Ted Lasso there, Shaggy?
Yes, I am. One second. Yes, I
Season 3.
am. I am very excited for it.
Right?
It's going to be a heck of a TV show.
Have you seen the trailer, the new trailer that just released yesterday?
Yes, I have.
I was excited. I was absolutely excited. Yeah, I did. I called him fugly, and he knows he is.
I'm fugly. I'm fugly.
Yeah.
Even though I weigh about 150 pounds, I'm fugly.
Yeah. You weigh 150?
Yeah.
God, I got you by a good 70 pounds, dude.
Yeah, dude. But how tall are you?
6'2"?
Okay, we're close on that. Fine. All right. Dude, I'll be skating past you while you're sitting there trying to give a hit. You'll end up in the boards while I'm way past you. I'll be like Matthew Barzell to your Tyler Meyer. Okay.
Well, I can't skate to begin with, obviously.
1 second. Excuse me. If Ryan McDonough could play with a broken foot and Ben Bishop could play with a broken foot, you could play with a freaking hurt hand. Okay.
Can't even tie my own damn skates.
Yeah, you'll have someone tie them for you.
Right? I can't hold a stick. I don't have feeling in half my hand right now and half my fingers.
Hey, have you seen these one-hand shootout goals? Come on, you can do that. Come on.
Oh, look at that. Look at this, man. You just see it.
Well, you're playing a team that's good. let's just.
Oh no, Seattle is good. I will admit that. Shaggy, I was talking about something other, and I want to know if you got this right.
All right.
I said, do you follow NASCAR at all?
A little bit, not enough to really know it, but I know the idea.
Okay, so when the NASCAR guys go out, when their car goes out, it goes out, it runs say 10 laps, and they time it.
Okay.
When it comes back in, they talk to the driver. The driver tells them what he feels, right?
Right.
What do they do? What do they do after the driver talks to him?
I don't know. What does happen?
They make one change. They change one thing. They don't change a bunch of things. They don't change camber. They don't change camber and tire pressure and wedge and all this other stuff. They make one change.
What, the steering wheel?
No, just one change. They'll maybe add a little wedge, or they'll change camber, or they'll add tire pressure. They'll make one change.
Right. That's correct.
And then they'll send the car back out for 10 more laps.
Yeah.
And then they'll figure out, well, did that change work or not?
Correct.
Okay. Why in the NHL then do teams go and make multiple changes at one time, not knowing the effect of any of those changes while they're making more changes?
Okay, so this is something I've had a long thought about actually today. So I'm this afternoon, I was doing a bunch of work today and cleaning up my apartment and stuff. And meanwhile I'm listening to a guy he was discussing on YouTube some trades of what's going down, because basically I wanted to know the trades and do work at the same time, and I saw things going down, so I put it in my ears, and he was like updating, and I'm hearing Maple Leafs this, Maple Leafs that, Rangers this, Rangers that. I'm hearing Wild this, Wild that, Capitals this, Capitals that. You know, there's one thing that the Maple Leafs are doing that I think is part of a bad move. And I know everyone's giving credit to Dubas for what he's doing.
Yeah.
But in a sense, your point about making too many moves might be something that's not his problem. That might not be the problem. The problem
they have 23 games left in the season.
Right.
Or for new chemistry. They have 22 games to do what it takes 82 games to do.
Right. So I believe that the reason why they made all those trades is because you know that the Maple Leafs are a freaking meme. Okay? They're a living meme. First round and out. And I think they believe they just want to get out of that first round. And I think they're setting themselves up for the future to be able to just have players that they feel is better for their team. Making a lot of moves, like 1 second. So I'm saying, so I believe that what's going to hurt the Maple Leafs is not just too many players being added in. I think what's going to hurt them is they didn't exactly add players that I believe made this team suddenly better, because they sent away Sandin, who I think is better than Gustafsson. And they basically, they got that pick out of it, but they're not looking for picks, man. Very nice you got that pick. I think that the fact is they didn't exactly upgrade. And what they traded for O'Reilly, by the way, who's a rental, you lose. He's not signing back with you.
Yeah.
So I believe that they're really not – that's going to be their problem. But now let's talk about the Rangers and the fact that they made 3 moves.
Hold on. Bushnavage gets one in there.
I had
I see what you're saying, Shag, but I think you're missing what I'm trying to get at, bud. What I'm trying to get at is the thought process in the NHL is you wait until a week or 2 weeks before the trade deadline and you make all these moves. Oh, you know what? Why do that? Because a lot of times teams that do that, hold on, don't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work more times than it works. Then it doesn't work more times than it does work.
Did you look at the Rangers last year?
What did they? I don't remember, bud.
Okay, they made a move for Frank Vetrano, Andrew Kopp, Tyler Mott.
Yeah.
And they got to the conference championship.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, the other teams that made big moves didn't necessarily get there. I mean, Carolina didn't go anywhere.
No, but see, I think if I'm a smart GM, I go to the 25% mark of the season and I look at the trends, right? And I see what the trends are, the numbers and things like that, and what the eye test says. And if the eye test is telling me we've got to, we're so bad, we're really bad in the second period, right? Giving up all these goals in the second period. Okay, I go talk to the coaching staff. What do you think? What can we do? What change can we do to focus on this one area? One change. But do we move a guy around? Do we bring somebody else in? What one change can we make? And if you make that change and then you wait and see what happens, you wait a couple of games. And if the change works.
But it depends where your team is up to. Because let's say my team has a defenseman, right, where I feel like we got to upgrade there. And then I say to myself, well, our bottom six forwards is weak. We got to upgrade there.
You could get the defenseman you need a lot cheaper in November than you can in March.
Yes, but I'm a team that's good right now. I have a chance to make a run.
It's not. See, again, you're to me, Shags.
Yeah. You're
going with that archaic thinking of let's make all these changes. The problem is, it really doesn't work. And more times than not, teams that make very few changes win the cup. Teams that make all these changes don't win the cup. Teams that make tons of changes don't win the cup. There's not enough time to get that chemistry and get all of that camaraderie and the things you need to build to the cup. It doesn't happen. But if you start it in November and you do something in November and you do something in December and you do something in January, you do it slowly. You do the same thing, but you take your time doing it. You don't have to worry about only having 20 games to get that chemistry because the chemistry's there. You're not changing the chemistry as much. You're not changing the camaraderie. You're doing things slowly that allows you to see what things work and what things don't. Imagine if the Blues would have traded Tarasenko or O'Reilly in November or December by February, late February. Well, maybe they don't get as many. Maybe they even get better pieces.
Okay, but like this. Okay, there's two ways you could look at this. You could look at this as, okay, we added a lot of players and we need to get ourselves a chemistry. Or you could look at it as our scouting department has done a good enough job that whoever we're bringing in will already fit what we want to do.
You know what? That doesn't work because it doesn't work. If that worked, teams that made all these changes would win the cup a lot more than they do, and they almost never win the cup.
Right. And I think Ryan Green's going to make a good point to that. When you change something on a race car drive for one thing, it's very different than changing a group of players that have to work together. Right.
Yeah, but see, I get that, but it's still the same. The concept's the same, right? You still have 23 pieces out there that are working together. If you make one piece change, other 22 are still out there, still working together. and how that one change works is very effective. And in fact, you do see some of this. Guys that get called up and guys that get sent down. You see that a little bit in the low end, in the bottom 6, the bottom 3, but you don't see it in a larger aspect of real good players, the better players.
Okay, so guys, so you're bringing up an interesting point, and I'll tell you something that you can't scout how they actually fit on paper is different. I'll tell you something. Guy, I'll give you this. If you take a top 6 player and just try to stuff him in, I agree. It can be very hurtful to your team, okay? But a bottom 6 player who's getting minimum time on ice, or a bottom defense peer or a backup goalie that you add to your team, I think is not as bad as hard as you think that it could be for that team. Adding lower players, giving you depth, or maybe certain role players, a good penalty killer, a good power play point guard, a good center for faceoffs, a good backup goalie for back-to-backs. Those are things that which I'm just telling you are not going to affect your team as much, because look at a guy like Tyler Mott. He's an excellent defensive center, okay?
Yeah.
The Rangers brought him back for Gauthier, who was just an offensive guy who knew how to charge the net. But Gauthier did not have a specialty. Bringing in a guy like Mott, he adds a specialty. Let's think about it like this. The Maple Leafs made how many moves? And how many of
the
those
Blues
moves?
hold up, man. The Blues are on an empty net right now with 1:34 to go in a 1-goal game. So let's see if they can hold on or tie this up.
I'm gonna actually.
I want to do that.
I'm gonna go to that actually, so I could be on target with you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
All right, let's see if they got this.
Happening. Waited too long. He did that earlier. He played instead of just snapping that shot off. He waited. He did it right there.
Ooh, nice play.
Snap that shot off.
Ooh. All right.
And now we're gonna lose it. Nope.
Got to get that puck out.
Lost it in the back. Oh, come on, don't. Leisurely skating to the puck when you have an empty net is how you give up empty net goals.
What was he doing there?
Doing what we always do. We're leisurely back to the puck. We're always leisurely back to the puck. We're going to lose this game 4-3.
Is he calling timeout?
Huh?
Is he calling timeout?
I don't know if he went to a timeout. Oh, he's calling one now. Looks like he's calling one now. Yeah, he's calling one now.
What would your thought process be here? Why is he calling timeout here? 30 seconds left.
Win the face-off. Try and get shots on goal. Make sure you don't give up the empty netter.
Was that a penalty? On
that should have been a high stick on Dunn.
Yeah.
That should have absolutely been a high stick on Dunn.
And what's his name? Dunn and the other guy right next to him.
Yeah, that could have been. It could have been 2.
There was 2 penalties in that play they didn't call. Maybe they didn't call it because of the scrum. It wasn't an open penalty.
There were 2 open penalties there. That should have been called.
I don't know. That was a bad job by the refs. They just let them play it.
Yeah.
Look, they're a physical team, the Kraken. I mean, I think I have to check. I think they give they give you some penalty chances. So I think they saw that.
Kraken might be able to pull this up here in a second. Comes to penalties. Kraken are 9th in the league at 8.2 per game, and the Blues are second at 7.3 per game.
There you go. Ooh, nice. Oh, his own teammate. I like their idea here. Oh, that's it. There it goes.
Oh, what are you doing with that pass right there? Now Cruz got a call. We just blew it. Nope. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Oh, man.
There it is. In the game, 5-3. That was because, again, really bad play in our own zone. Right? Really bad play in our own zone.
That's harsh. That is harsh.
Yep.
Also,
I said we weren't going to win 5 games, and so far I look really good on that statement.
I said 6 or 7, maybe 8.
We haven't won a game since the trade. I said when O'Reilly was traded, we would not, in the last 28 games of the season, we wouldn't win 5. And we, you know, we would win. We wouldn't win more than 5 games. And so far, I look really good on that.
Yeah.
We have 2 overtime loss points. That's it. 2 loser points.
No, I don't like the fact that let's go back. Let's go before Thomas's bad pass. When they entered the zone over there before the penalty possibly called,
Yeah.
they had a face-off chance before they called that timeout. He sent that puck into the netting. He had momentum there. Nobody was with him, and he had nobody to pass to, so he was trying to send it around the board.
that's been an issue all season long, man. This team right now is rudderless. There is no direction. It's rudderless. There's no direction to this team.
No, it might be worse than that. I think it's not coaching. I'm sorry.
You don't think it's coaching?
Yeah, because how does your team, it's the end of a game. You want to win the game or you want to lose the game? What are you doing? Do you want to win the game? Like I don't understand. If you don't put an effort most of the game, and
if you go into the zone every single time and stop at the top of the circle, and the other team knows it and they're there when you stop, and there's no one else for you to pass the puck to, and you do it every single game, that's a coaching move.
Correct. That's a problem in the coaching. You can't do that.
Okay. That there are more problems in the coaching. End of the game, this team does not care anymore.
But that's not
and they don't care anymore. They don't care anymore because the coaching staff doesn't listen.
But I'm saying that's not even Berube. I believe it's not even Berube. I believe there's other coaches, maybe their offensive guy who I don't know who draws up their plays, but they don't
have an offensive guy anymore.
There you go. If I don't have an offensive guy telling me, look, you know what I love? Here's my basic play. You're at the end of the game.
Bennington's not the issue, John. Hold up. John, Bennington's not the issue.
No, he's not.
Okay, you put Grice in there, and Grice is going to give up just as many goals. Bennington is not the issue.
He'll give up more.
Right. Oh, okay, Tommy. The Chief is great. Chief is great. He's the best coach ever in this league. That's why we had to sell off all our players because he couldn't coach them. Right? I'm sorry, man. It's just.
I believe that's deeper coaching than just Berube. I think if they're keeping Berube, they're firing a bunch of other coaches.
I think the only one they keep is Ott, if they do it. But I don't see him doing it. Yeah, I'm with you, Gloria.
I would have loved to see.
I was speaking to you as coach of your fantasy league. Well, because that's I have to start 2 goalies, so I got to start Bennington no matter what. Well, we've put a rule in place that if a player is eligible to start, you must start him. Because we had too many guys that had guys sitting on the bench that were starting and starting guys that weren't playing at all. Right? So we had an issue with that, and I tried to argue it, saying, hey, wait a minute, there might be some strategics here, because I wouldn't have started Bennington if I didn't have to. I would not have started Bennington if I didn't have to. Right? Well, I'm only going to stay on for about 7 or 8 more minutes, and then I'm going to go drive Uber. Shaq, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I don't know. At least I
get to follow the Rangers during the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right, and we'll get our 3rd round pick.
That's right.
Right, we'll get our 3rd round pick instead of a 4th round pick.
I'm very curious when the trade deadline comes around if everything's not going to even happen because
it already happened. No, the only thing that's going to happen now is salary cap moves.
No, Chikrin will happen.
Huh?
I think Chikrin happens.
Gloria, you're absolutely right there.
The best players right now that are available for trading that have actually been connected to trading is Jacob Chikrin, Brock Bessier, Vlam Gavrikov, Van Riemsdyk, Max Domi, Klingberg, and Gostisbehere.
You know what? Everyone's been talking about Phoenix or Arizona trading Chikrin for a couple of years now. They don't have to trade him, and they're not going to. Right? One of the things is they have an issue with being on the salary floor. They trade that guy, they got to bring in money. They got to bring in money because they're going to be below the salary floor. They're not going to be cap compliant. Unless somebody blows them away, they're not going to trade for this guy. They're not going to trade him. So they've set the asking price high because they can, and they're going to leave it there.
Well, I believe that the only way that Chychrun actually gets traded is as long as whoever team that's giving them is absolutely getting fleeced.
Absolutely what?
I believe that the only way Chychrun gets traded is whichever team gets Chychrun will be fleeced.
Okay, I don't know what the salary floor is. I think it's like 63 million.
Right.
Lower limit 61 million, right? Buffalo Sabres 64 million. Arizona Coyotes 67 million. What's Churchill making? 6-7 million?
Yeah.
Right? They trade him. They're at the floor. The Ducks 68 million.
Well, right now,
Blackhawks 76 million.
1 second.
The Blackhawks
right now,
are messing with the floor. Right? There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams messing with the floor.
I think the Knights are the only team that's going to be making trades. The Knights are the team that I think are looking to put themselves over the top with another great player. And I think the Oilers have space to be able to have Chychrun. I think Chychrun on the Oilers would be a great move. I just don't know how much the Oilers are willing to give up. They have, I mean, the teams with the most cap space right now available are I think the Minnesota Wild have the most cap space right now. So right now, I think they
only have $1 million. Minnesota Wild have a 1.6 million. Predators 2.6 million. The Senators are at 4.7 million.
Right. No,
Senators are probably in the best space to make a move.
I think 1 second. The Sabres are a team that I don't think they need defensively players. And they're already over the roster size. The Coyotes right now, right? So that's the team. What would you think of the Red Wings or even the Wild making a play for Chychrun?
Red Wings doesn't make any sense. Not during the season, maybe off season. Wild, maybe they've got $6 million in cap space, but they've got a lot of dead cap too. Well, so I don't know what Churchurn's contract is. I don't think he's not.
I saw reports that the Kings have offered a great deal.
So he's at 4.6 million, and he's got 3 more years on his contract. 2 more after this year. They're not trading him. They're absolutely not trading him. Makes no sense for them to trade him whatsoever.
Who do you think?
24 years old. 24 years old, and you're going to get rid of him now with 2 years left? Well, you don't have to.
Well, maybe that's why Edmonton actually went after Ekholm.
Yeah.
Because maybe they feel like they can't get Chychrun, and because as much as they're going to give up for Chychrun, cap space wise, it's just stupid to get him.
Yeah. No, I see it. Right.
I would tell the Blues to get him, but why would you get him? It's not what you're up to.
Well, it's not that. We couldn't afford him, and I don't think that he would take enough. It would have to be dollar in, dollar out, and I don't think that they would take enough money from us to do that. I'm with you guys. Rangers Lightning Eastern Conference Final. I could see that.
Not happening.
Right, but I think Toronto.
I don't think the Lightning.
They didn't make too many moves. I think it's going to be Toronto.
I believe. Let me just explain to you. Do you know what the matchups are right now?
No.
So I'm going to tell you all the matchups. You'll tell me. Let's see if we could do this quickly. Carolina, Buffalo.
Carolina.
New Jersey, New York. Rangers.
Oh, that's a
Rangers
toss-up.
have the better. I'm taking the Rangers with the goalie personally. I believe that they could hold them.
Possible.
I think it's possible, but Carolina's the 1 seed. Rangers are the 3 seed. Boston's going to beat Pittsburgh, obviously, right? And Toronto's going to beat Tampa Bay in the first round. So now you're left with.
No, that's still a tight one.
I still believe that Toronto might get out of that first round. Let's say they get out of that first round.
Calgary is outshooting Boston 39-7 and losing 2-1. Wow.
Yeah, because Boston. Yeah. So now let's see. if Toronto beats Tampa Bay, so that means Toronto is the 2 seed, and they're gonna face the wild card 1, the highest wild card, which would be the Rangers.
I could see that would be a tough one. I don't think the Rangers make it back to the Eastern Conference. I picked that last year, by the way. I picked that. I picked them to go to the finals. The fact that I didn't pick Tampa Bay. I had Toronto, but I had picked the Rangers to go to the finals, and I was ahead because there weren't a lot of people that picked them to go there. I know that, other than Ranger fans.
Underratedly, I believe. Do you know right now the wild card the wild card matchup to the number 1 seed matchup is Colorado to Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg could win that round.
Oh yeah, I do too. I do too.
I don't believe Colorado, as good as they are, Winnipeg's a physical team.
Yeah. And they who did they just picked up somebody too?
What do you mean?
They just
Winnipeg?
picked up somebody big.
Let me check.
They just made a trade. They just picked up somebody. They picked up somebody from. I want to say they picked up somebody from Predators, but wrong.
1 second, I can tell you. I have all the deals in front of me. Winnipeg. The Jets got Niederreiter.
Yeah, Niederreiter. Yeah, from. Oh, I mean, to me, they're. Wow, I'm looking at the draft picks. Arizona has. Holy cow! Right?
Yeah.
In 24, they have 3 second-round picks and three third-round picks. In 25, they have 4 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks. They are loaded.
Well, how about the Sharks?
I haven't seen the Sharks.
Yeah, go check out the Sharks.
Wrong year here. 2024 draft. Wow. Oh, you said Sharks. I clicked on the wrong team.
Okay, they have in 2023 a first. They have a first, a second. They have 2 firsts, a second, a third, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, a sixth, and 2 sevenths. In 2024, they have a first, 2 seconds, a fourth, a fifth, sixth, and 2 sevenths. They got a lot of picks coming up too.
Blues have got a lot of picks now too.
Oh yeah.
But they've given up. San Jose's given up a lot of picks too, right?
Right. I mean, they give up some of their.
They've given
picks.
up their 3rd round pick for the next 2 years. They've given up a 4th round pick in 24. Really, I'll tell you what. If Bill Armstrong is as good in Phoenix, Arizona will win the Cup in 4 years. Arizona will win the Cup in 4 to 5 years. I will say that now. With all those picks, they can win the Cup in 3 to 4 years. Armstrong's that good. You look at guys that Armstrong's drafted. He's very, very good.
Kane is going to make his debut not tomorrow, but on Thursday.
Say again?
Patrick Kane is making his debut on Thursday, not Wednesday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
I think that's a cap move, and more than anything else. Okay, Shag, I'm going to call it a day,
All
man.
right, awesome.
Another
Sounds
bad game.
fun.
We'll be back. I should be back on Thursday. That's a late game for. I don't think you'll be on Thursday. They're on the West Coast Thursday, so
that's usually my best time.
11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, because I usually finish. I have like a work I do. I go to like a little bit of schooling like at night, and I finish around 9:45. So then I come home and I just like get my midnight snack going and gotta watch.
They play the Sharks at 5:30 my time, which is 10:30 your time.
Oh yeah, so I'll be around. I'm usually up till at least 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, anyway. So
okay, no problem, man. You know what, guys? Have a great day, Dr. Detroit. Thank you so much for being there with us. We appreciate you. Guys, enjoy it. They have close to 14 million in cap space. They definitely can make a move once they move Eric Johnson to LTIR. Here it's going to be Travis Kelce, Don Klingberg. I don't know, man. I'm trying to keep out of the rumors and watching to see what comes because a lot of times
is injured. Konechny's injured. I don't see them going for him.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I got to go. I'm going to go drive. You guys have a great night. I will see you on Thursday. Aloha.